the Philadelphia Eagles have signed future Hall of Fame receiver Julio Jones.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Interesting. I'm
a lot of connections within that receiver room to Julio Jones.
Yeah.
You've got A.J. Brown, who was with him on the Titans, and I believe lobbied for him to join Tennessee when that happened, right?
Yep.
You've got Zacchaeus, who was with him in Atlanta, and then you've got Devontae Smith, who obviously has the alma mater Alabama connection. I'm sure they know each other, just through the nature of the way that kind of thing works, even if obviously they didn't overlap or anything.
I am usually all in favor of shiny object signings. Shiny object, it's Julio Jones. Don't care if he's 50. It's Julio Jones. Never know.
Uh-huh.
I think the key is expectations. So if Old Takes Exposed really wanted to get me, they would probably go back and say, look at Steve's take on the Titans trade. Loved it. Probably loved the Titans trade at the time. Sure I did. Second rounder for Julio Jones, of course. Loved the Bucs picking up Julio Jones. Yeah, add him to the mix. Why not? And I'm going to say my expectations are much lower, but why not if you're the Eagles? And then it comes down to expectations and usage. Like, clearly he's not going to be stealing targets from A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. But even last year with the Bucs, where Julio Jones looked like he had lost a step, every time he ran fast, you were worried he was going to pull up with a hamstring. Like, that was true. What can you do with Julio Jones as your receiver 3.5? Run him deep, right? Let him be the thing I love, wide receiver 4, who's a deep threat. Let Julio Jones, who's still fast, it's just a matter of, like, when he runs 40 yards, will he be able to do it again? That's the biggest question at 34-year-old Julio Jones. So I love all those moves. Low risk, high upside, catch a few deep passes here and there. You don't need to be a high-volume possession guy later. You don't need to do much. Create some big plays for the Eagles. Be there when teams are taking away A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, the run game. Be there to create some big plays here and there. Julio Jones is still probably capable of that as long as he stays healthy.
Maybe. I tend to think of, veteran signings at this point in the season, if it's not like because there's an acute area of need, the Giants signing Justin Pugh off the couch, right? Yeah. If it's not that, I tend to think that a signing of a veteran name at this point in the season is basically just a kick the tires type of deal, right?
Depth. It adds depth. It adds a little bit of insurance if there's injuries.
Maybe, but I tend to think of it more as let's kick the tires on Julio and see if there's still anything there, and the chances are there probably isn't, which is why he's sitting there on the street in October, right? But the Vikings signed Dalton Reiser. Everyone's like, greatest addition you could have. The offensive line's fixed. It's like, he's not. No, there's a reason he's not available. He's available in October when there's a league in offensive line crisis, and everyone has still looked at this guy and gone, yeah, not really. So it sounds like it's a great move because you know the name, you know the pedigree, the previous draft status or whatever, and you're like,
future Hall of Famer,
right? And it's like, yeah, but he's not that guy anymore.
Sold. I'm always in on it.
Yeah, it's worth kicking the tires,
yeah.
But I would imagine, your expectation should be that this has literally no impact whatsoever on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, I set them low. I just said, catch a couple bombs here and there. Catch a couple back shoulders.
That's quite an impact.
It is.
For example, Quez Watkins, who, is on this team, or Zacchaeus, who we talked about, each one of those guys has been on the team for, the entire season or whatever, and combined they have 8 catches total, and none of them have been bombs.
Yeah.
So, if you're thinking about this he's going to come in, he's going to catch a few bombs here or there, if he catches a few passes here or there, it's probably exceeded my expectations.
If it was any other big-bodied, older receiver, you'd say, well, maybe just use him as a red zone threat. But it's Julio Jones.
Who's
never been a red zone threat.
Even in the prime of his Hall of Fame career.
How has he never been a red zone threat? One of life's biggest mysteries. We need a 30 for 30 on Julio Jones' low touchdown totals. Remember last year last year during the season.
Particularly, by the way, when there are plays in there where it's this is one of the greatest red zone plays of all time. Remember he went and mossed Malcolm Butler and just ripped the ball out from over his head, turned, got both feet down, ball stuck to his hands in the corner of the end zone. You're there's a handful of players in NFL history that can make that play. How do you not have 100 touchdowns?
It's crazy. I don't understand it.
No.
Last year, the Eagles made need-based veteran moves. Remember, they brought in Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh to shore up their run defense when they had some injuries up front. So this is a common move for Howie Roseman and the Eagles. To your point, though, it's not a direct need. It is a kick the tires and let's see. I mean, run him as a decoy every now and again. Maybe the defenses are still afraid of him. Who knows?
Yeah. And as I say, I'm all for it. My expectations would be that this literally has no impact whatsoever.
Mine are low, but I'm expecting great things. Low expectations, but expecting big things.
That sounds like a contradiction.
Might be.
Specifically because of using the term expecting,
Yeah.
Had you used another word, maybe you could have gotten away with it in semantic terms. But with using the exact same word, I think it's tricky.
Yeah, I'll remember a better way to say it at some point. Think about it.